This video is about child support. I have a lot of experience with that. And I'm doing this video over 25 years late because I'm 69 years old now. And a lot of people, a lot of guys, I say guys, it could be girls, but typically it's not. Um, the strap with child support that they can never ever pay, okay, because they they have jobs that are manual labor jobs that are low pay, or they had a sales job that for a while it paid well, but then all of a sudden you lost your job, and sales jobs from that time, at that age, back what, 20 years, 25 years ago, was very hard to get again, to get another job like that again that paid as well. Bottom line is simply this, okay? In Alabama, where I'm from, okay, child support is totally unfair. And throughout the southern states, and I guess, too, also the northern states as well, child support is very, very unfair. And the courts don't care, you know? It's a political issue with them. They put you to the jail if you get behind, and then while you're in jail, they the interest piles up. I mean, it usually piles up. And again, the court, the judge, he doesn't care at all because he's just following the child support division, whatever you want to call it, state, and he don't care at all. You spend your life away in there in that jail fighting. Usually, it's people of a different color, and I spent a long time behind bars because I couldn't pay. Because after I got out, I'd lost my job I had before, and I was, at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're pounding on my door to come arrest me again, or not my door. I couldn't afford anything. It'd be my parents' door, or whatever place I was trying to hide in. They wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, throw handcuffs on me, put me in jail with murderers, rapists, child molesters, the worst possible people on planet Earth. And so here's the thing. I'm trying to make this short enough, but impactful enough for you to understand. I know there is thousands upon thousands of guys that were like me. I'm older now, but you can back this up in your own imagination. Me 25 years ago, and this went from about age 28 to age 43. And at age 43, when I finally got child support off me, okay, that I couldn't pay anyway, with a lawyer, that my mother paid the lawyer, and the lawyer got it taken off because my daughter was 22 years old at that time, even 22 and a half, still trying to get child support on, even though she never had a relationship with me, and I had a son too, but neither one of these kids were proven to be mine. I mean, the one was a cheater. How do I know? How do I know that they were ever my own real kids? I was too poor and too covered up with child support to even try to get a lawyer to prove that maybe they weren't even my kids, okay? And believe me, when this is happening to you, you're just trying to, your head's spinning. Your head is spinning because you can't, it's bigger than you can handle, okay? You can't pay it, and you know you can't pay it, and the interest on this thing compounds like you could never imagine. You could never count it the way it compounds. And if you finally get somebody to pay you out of jail, but likely you, like me, you don't have a family that are capable or even willing to part with their money to do so, you spend years of your life behind bars fighting the worst criminals on planet Earth, and again, rapists, bank robbers, personal stand-up, hold you up robbers, killers, definitely killers, rapists, child molesters, and the worst possible people on earth you're thrown in there with, okay? And you gotta fight. you have to fight 24 hours a day, uh, especially when you're in there with, like I said, the populace of a race is not your race. It's not white, okay? It's a different color, okay? And 24 hours a day, you fight for your life. And in there, I heard rapes from weaker white boys. They were raped and they were beaten. And I heard this, and I had black penises shoved in my face many times and told me to devour those, and I never did. But I risked my life in saying no, and I didn't. But I worked out. I let them see me working out, and I really had to fight for my life. And believe me, one day they came to my cell. By the way, they ice water me at night. It's more time than I could ever count. I could never close my eyes, okay, and rest at all, zero. But they come to my cell one day, must have been at least 12, and they said, "We've come to kill you." And I said to them, "This is all about child support. Now understand this, okay? Don't let yourself be the victim of this situation, and believe me, in the South of the United States, this is this way, and the judges they don't care about you at all, zero. It's all political, whatever makes them look good, that's what they go for, okay? And it took me 25 years to make a video about this, and you know what? I'm over 25 years late. You know, I should have started making a video. The problem was that the internet wasn't around when I was 28 years old, and the bottom line is it would have been hard to help others by explaining what I went through, okay? Because I'm no expert on video and explaining all this. I'm just trying to lay it out as I go forward. This is unscripted. I have no script whatsoever. And I'm trying to put the impact out the way it was so you'll really get a grip on how horrible and how terrible and how stressful the situation was. But I don't think you will grasp it because it won't be easy for you to understand, okay, without you actually going through it yourself. And many of you already have, okay? I have zero respect for boss hog type judges in America, okay, who just follow politics and they don't care about people. That, for example, me, my ancestors, we grew up and my family farmed in Alabama. They worked very hard and they owned a lot of land, which back in my grandfather's time was easy to get because the government was giving land for a very small amount of money, $1 an acre or whatever. But the bottom line is this, my family was farmers, and I had no police record at all, and I was put through this pure hell, something I could never pay. It was totally impossible, and the judge knew it. Behind his robe, he knew I couldn't pay, but he didn't care. He didn't care because he needed to stay popular to get elected again, okay? And there is people who never, ever experienced divorce, and they don't have any compassion for you at all, and they don't understand about paying child support because they never paid it anyway. And how many people do you find in jail that are powerful sons of powerful people that actually are in jail because they can't pay child support? That don't happen, right? I mean, go check it out. See how many people like that are behind bars. They're not. You ask yourself, well, how could that be? Well, it's simple, okay? They're not going to put anybody behind bars like that has power and money. It's not going to happen. Hopefully the judge will cut a deal off in the side room somewhere to make sure that these people get a special deal and they're never put in jail. And they find a way to make sure that they never put these people in jail. They hide their situation, and also they usually help them cut a deal. They'll pay a certain amount of money, and then the rest of it goes away. In other words, maybe they pay $10,000 to get money in a bank. They already got money and power, or they don't have to go to the bank at all, they already have the money. Anyway, they give the money, it's like $10,000, okay? They pay the girl off on divorce, and then they never have to worry about going to getting arrested, going to jail, and fighting for their life. Me, guess what? I fought for my life, and I had to hide, and when I wasn't hiding, I was in jail, and it cost me from 28 years old to 43. At age 43, by the way, I'm trying to wrestle my children here right now because they're trying to grab my glasses as I do this video. At age 43, after spending from 28 to age 43, behind bars, okay, because I couldn't pay child support, and I never had a job when I finally walked out because the job had long been gone because I was behind bars, okay, for waiting on. They didn't care if I paid child support, they didn't be behind bars, okay? I mean, that's the same, it's insane. It is insane, and it's the equivalent of locking a dog up because the dog is a dog, okay? You take advantage of a dog, lock him behind, in a doghouse, okay, with maybe in bars, and he rarely ever gets out, okay? I think people do that. I would never do that. I'm an animal lover. But I see that happening. They lock the dogs behind bars and dog spends, out of 24 hours, he spends at least, I don't know, 18 to 20 hours behind the damn bars in this, cage, okay? Finally leave him out and give him a drink and get a quick bite to eat and put it back in there again, okay? This is what I live through, okay, with child support. And look, here's the thing. You can contact me. I'm gonna make this some way where you can contact me, and I will give you my own personal recommendation about what you should do, what you shouldn't do. That's up to you. You choose, okay? You choose. But I make no apology, zero apology at all to the U.S. government, to the U.S. boss hog, Alabama, Georgia, southern states that do this to people who don't care at all about if they have a life. My ex, by the way, I found that she was taking the money and blowing it in a casino, gambling, okay? And you know, when I'm in jail and I'm fighting these guys and everything 24 hours a day, I can't tell you how hard that was, okay? And I couldn't tell when day and night happened because you couldn't see outside. I mean, there was, I'm trying to remember, there was a tiny, tiny window, but did you look out of it? I mean, you really tried your best not to think about day and night and days going by because, well, you didn't expect you were going to get out anyway. And that's what happened to me because I was poor. And I had no skill because my parents were the wrong people, okay? My grandfather was respectable. He worked very hard, and they were farmers, okay? And even my old man who told me at age 16, hey, you know I'm not really your father, don't you? He turned around, we were hunting one day, and he said, hey, you know I'm really not your father, don't you? And I had a gun behind him, I was walking, and he was talking to my uncle. We were out hunting, and they were in front of me walking and talking. He turns around and tells me at 16, hey, you know I'm not your real father, don't you? Well, no, I didn't know that. I damn sure didn't know that, okay? I mean, I didn't want him to because he was an abuser, okay? And he never defended me when bullies were attacking me and when they one locked me into a well house one day for like, all day long and into the night, okay? And he finally come and he opened the door. I hit the door. He knocked me down. He went behind me, jumped on top and beat me in the face. And you know, I went home and I told my old man about that situation. Did he help me? No. He said to me, well, I can't really do anything because we can't do anything. He's not come to burn our house down. He's not come to burn our house down. And then I'm trying to give the illustration of who my old man was, but he wasn't really my old man because at 16 he said to me, you know I'm not your real father, don't you? Well, No, I didn't know, and I still didn't grasp it enough after he told me that. But here's what I'm going to make. I had nobody get me out of jail. My mother bailed me out of jail, paid the child support up. My mother cared. She was a poor, uneducated person who supported her man, whatever decision he made. So that meant I had to spend my time in that down jail, the worst place you could possibly be on this planet Earth. I spent it in there for a long, 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 long time, fighting 24 hours a day to save my life and also to survive, hoping one day I would get out. But the damn thing, when I got out, they would throw me back in again, and I didn't have a job anyway. And it was a cycle that never ended, okay? And do I hate those people? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Does it get me anywhere? No. But it's inside of me because they vicious with the courts, Alabama judges, and the boss hog that they really are. Uh, you know, a boss hog, small town America, even to Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi. Uh, I'm sure that it's no different in other southern states, but probably the same in northern states as well. You're a victim to the system, okay? And the system don't give a damn about your impossibility to pay, okay? And they told us it's federal, massive, massive interest on you, you know, that they already know you couldn't pay, but they don't care at all, you know? I mean, it don't affect their dinner or nothing in their life. And, you know, these people never ever were poor to start with, and they had power and money, and that's how they ended up in college because their parents paid for them to go to college, and they had power and had money. That's usually the situation, okay? Whereas I ended up building mobile homes and working the worst job possible because I didn't have the education because I had really crappy parents. My mother, great person, wonderful person, but dumb and uneducated, and also followed the man, whatever he said, she followed him. I remember he wanted to put me in at about 7 years old. I heard him telling her he wanted to put me in for form school. He wanted to get rid of me. And she argued that, but he would have if he could have. And I remember one day, he walked me out to the road. I was probably 9 years old. I had a bicycle, that's all I had, broken down bicycle. He said, you see this road here, okay? It was a road full of holes and a crappy dirt road. But he said, you see the road here? Do you see this road? And I said, yeah. He said, well, hit it. Okay, and I noticed he had a shotgun. He's carrying a shotgun. But I never really paid much attention to that because we were rural people, and I didn't think he would shoot me. But he said he had a shotgun in his hand. He said, you see this road here? And I said, yeah. I remember. Think about this. I'm only about 7, 8 years old. The oldest 9. Let's just say 9. Okay. And he said, you see this road here? And I said, yeah. He said, well, hit it. And don't look back. Go and don't look back. Okay? And I don't know why I said it, but I had my broken down bicycle, so I started pedaling away. And I'm thinking, where did I go? What can I do from here? So I went to my cousin's house, my first cousin's house. I went there, but I knew he was wrong, but in my mind, I'm not mature enough to understand all the situation. I just know, by the way, shot behind me while I'm pedaling away. He shot the gun. Boom, behind me like that. Well, I flinched on my bicycle. But I kept on, I pedaled faster to get away, because I don't know, maybe he's going to shoot me in the back. But he did pull the trigger. I don't know where the lead went to, but boom, he shot behind me while I'm pedaling away. But I got to my cousin's house, and you know what happened? At first, I felt relief because I was away and I didn't know what I was going to do, but The uncle didn't seem like him, which was my old man's brother, which remember now, he told me he's not my father at 16 anyway, but at that time, I didn't know. I still thought he was my father. I get there, and then at night time, their hands start going up my cousin started going in my underwear, and he's molesting me and doing all kinds of sexual stuff to me at night. And then I figured out it was him primarily, but even this was a cousin that I had about my age. I'm 9, he's probably 9, nearly 9, about the same age as me. But he's molesting me, and I argued that. I went against that, but it didn't matter. He was stopped for a while, and he'd begin again. And then I thought, well, I report on him, but I thought, wait a minute, if I do, I'll get kicked out of here and I can't go back. So this continued on, him doing his best to molest me, and I figured out it wasn't just him, his brothers were gay also, okay? And if you ask me, do I respect gay people? Hell no, okay? They are demons, okay? And that's my opinion, okay? I don't care. You tell me you got freedom to be who you are. I don't care. Behind that face, I think you're a demon. That's my opinion, okay? You're definitely a demon, okay? And that's my opinion. Won't change. Should have been that way I mean, it should have always been that way in my head. Don't ever think about, well, you're American. Freedom, everybody, anything they want to do, hell no. Look, I was victimized by child support. I was victimized by opposite race in jail, okay? And some things are wrong, and some things are right. You can't pitch it all together and claim that everything is right just because, well, it's free thinking. I think free, I can be free, I can do what I want to do. I disagree fully. But I will disagree too fully that it's okay to put people behind jail, behind bars, and disrupt their life totally that can't pay the child support. And that you chase them and knocking on my parents' door at 2 a.m., forcing your way in with guns drawn out to my elderly parents, and I'm talking primarily about my mother, but the jackass that told me he wasn't my father at 16 was there also, okay? But anyway, my mother, a victim of this situation, okay, because she did love me and she did her best as a poor person to give me her love and to be a mother to me. It's just that she was in the era of the time that you went with what your husband said, or you was some kind of basically they would talk about you as being like a prostitute because you didn't support your man, okay? And it was the wrong era for a woman to stand up, okay, against wrong. And this man strapped me he was beating my mother. He was beating her, slapping her when he was drunk in his 30s, and I'm the oldest of 3, and I tried to fight him, and he beat me senseless, and he took the belt off, and he beat me with the metal end of the belt. He hit me with that. I can't count how many times in the face and hands and body. And then when he strapped my back with that thing, so bad that when my auntie came and looked at us and took our clothes off to give us a bath, we normally only got one bath per month, okay, if that. But when we finally got a bath and they took my clothes off, my auntie, she gasped. She said, "What is this?" And there was all the stripes on my back where he had beat me like a bullwhip, okay, with that belt. And it was the equivalent of being beat with a bullwhip, okay, if you understand that. And these marks they were gashes in my back and being beaten with that because I tried to fight and to defend my mother, he was on moonshine, and he was slapping her and beating her and kicking her, and I tried to fight. And So I'd run under the bed at some point, and he would take the broom or whatever he could that was hard, and he would turn it to the wood. He would hold the softer end, but he hit me with the wood in the face, the wood handle. He hit me in the hands because I'm trying to put my hands up, trying to block hitting me in the face. So he hit me in the hands with his broom handle, and in the face was I could only I could only fight the broom off for a while. I had with my hands, he'd in the face, him with the damn broom, okay, in the body. And he beat me with that damn broom and with the metal end of the belt and the leather strap of the belt. And then I'd run into a field out back and I'd hide out back crying. Of course I was crying. I mean, really crying. And I hide out there till I felt like it was safe to go back in, that he had went to sleep, drunk, okay? Even if he wasn't drunk, he was a horrible, horrible, horrible man, okay? Not man, demon, okay? So I kept wondering when I was a kid, what happened to this man? I mean, really, what happened to him? Why is he like this, okay? He would hide when people went to church, when he seen a car going by. He would hide behind the house or a tree or whatever, so they couldn't see him, that he was rejecting Christianity or just being a good person. He would hide when he saw him coming. We would call them the church people. They were going to the church out behind where we lived. There was a small temple church out there, and he seen them coming. He would hide behind a tree or a house or whatever. And it never got better. It always, I kept wondering why he treated me this way. Why is he attacking me? Why does he hate me? You know, why? Because at a young age, I actually truly loved the man because I thought he was my father. I remember looking at him and wanting to love him, and I gave him that action, and he hit me over the head repeatedly with his fist and called me a bastard, son of a bitch, piece of shit. These were his words, but I didn't know what it meant at the time. I really didn't know what that meant. But I knew he was being too hard on me. Basically grabbed me by the head and hit me like that, bam, bam, bam on the head, and knocked me down and called me bastard, son of a bitch, a piece of shit, this kind of thing. Okay, look, this is all coming up to where a situation we can understand where I was at and how I was trapped. He even would put me in a reform school, what I don't know what it was called, disciplinary school, when I was only about 9 years old, and I wasn't doing anything wrong. I just got a bicycle out in the country, and I'm trying to survive, hiding when I saw him because I knew he was bad. After a certain point, maybe it's starting at about 9, 10 years old when I really started hiding when he was around. It didn't work very well, but I tried. And up until about 8 or 9 years old, I'm sorry to say, I actually tried to love him. I tried to give my love to him. I did. I'm sad for myself that I did. I tried to give him my love. Even he was hitting me over the head, calling me bastard, son of a bitch, piece of shit. I couldn't figure out why. I mean, what happened to him? Who did wrong to him? His parents' father? I didn't understand. And until he told me at 16, he wasn't my father, that's what he said. I'm not, you understand, you know that I'm not your real father, don't you? Like that, when he turned around, my uncle, my mother's brother, was walking beside him, and like we said earlier, we were hunting. They were walking together in front of me. He turned around and he told me, hey, you know I'm not your real father, don't you? Well, I didn't know what to say. I think I wanted to blast him with my shotgun, but I didn't. But I wanted to, but I didn't. Make of that whatever the hell you want to, but I wanted to blast him with my shotgun, but I didn't. I don't know. What can you say about that? I still feel the same about that, okay? I didn't, okay? Do I wish I had it? Yes, I do. But I didn't. That's the bad part. I didn't. Man, look, I ended up, after all that, uh, from 28 when this bitch was cheating on me with a male nurse in the hospital she worked at. She was an aide, some kind of an aide, and she ended up cheating on me with that man, that guy. And then she left me for him, which that didn't continue, okay? I mean, he broke up with her. But she divorced me, sent me with child support at about 28. And I went to 40, almost 43, right around 43, about 43, hiding and um, not being able to pay child support. Mostly, they were always putting me in jail. So the only way I wasn't in jail is when I went to other states to work uh, with shitty jobs, okay, selling swimming pools or whatever. It was never, you can never depend on it at all. You know, it was crappy, whatever kind of work you find or construction, whatever, anything. But it didn't matter. Mostly they grabbed me, put me in jail, and that was my situation. And even driving around, I knew they had warrants on me. So can you imagine? Okay, you can't pay it, and you know you can't pay it, but you're trying to defend your heritage because, well, your grandfather and all people before him, and even me, uh, we won't include my jackass uh, fake father, okay, but my mother and her people were all very, very good, hardworking people. My mother's father was superintendent, whatever you want to call it, of the post office, okay. Um, and they also farmed. Most people did back that time, but he had a upper level job. People would have thought so in small town America. He was the head of post office, okay, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's called superintendent or whatever. Okay, so these people made me realize that I had a heritage, okay, a real heritage worth fighting for, okay, that I didn't deserve to be pushed out of a place that I deserved to be at, uh, where I couldn't even put my time in with my mother, okay, because if I did, they'd be waking her up at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning with guns drawn to extract me. Even if I wasn't there, they were still knocking the door down and with guns drawn, doing this to my mother. I don't care about the fake father, okay? I care none, zero about him being victimized, okay? Because he deserved far more than that. But look, here's what I'm trying to say. My mother deserved none of that. And my family made me realize I have the heritage worth fighting for. Okay, in other words, I felt like I should be able to stay there, and I tried. And what I'm trying to tell you is that don't do it. You'll lose, okay? Escape. Go away to a different country. And whatever this woman did to you, cheat on you, or people are crazy enough, insane enough to believe that you still love her, and that she still somehow loves you, and you have kids that may be yours and maybe not, who knows? But if you're crazy enough to believe that and fight, then you're going to lose, okay? Because you need to be going to a different country. You need to find a different place that you can't be extracted from because they don't have no extradition law. And you're just trying to live. That's all you're trying to do. It's not that you don't want to support your kids. That's not it. But you know, and you knew long damn time ago, okay, that you had no ability to do so. That was only going to destroy your life while your ex banged another guy temporary till he got rid of her, and she spent your money off at the casino or just whatever the hell, blowing your money, and it didn't even go to the kids, and then your kids didn't know you, they didn't ever try to see you, and in my case, not 1 second have they ever tried to be my children. I never seen them after she left me, And believe me, I gave my heart and soul, all my love to them while they were there. And I worked. I really worked my rear off to support them while we were together as a family. Okay? I'm just telling you. We cleared child support. It's all screwed up. And it has been for many, many, many years, okay? In my case, from the time I was 28 and I first experienced it, I'm sure it was horrible long before then. But from 28 to 43, I'm now 69 and a half, okay? My life didn't begin until age 43 when I finally got my almost 23-year-old daughter off my back, okay? Still trying to suck money from me, okay, because her mama wanted the money. It really wasn't her, but she's following what her mama said do. So she's still trying to get the money at 23 years old. My mother paid the money for a lawyer who got this off me, but I could probably, I don't know, say I could have done it on my own. I don't know, probably not with boss hog judges in Alabama and the southern states. Probably couldn't have got it off, but the lawyer did. He stood there and told the judge, hey Judge, she's 23 years old, turned 23, you know, and she's an adult. And they're still trying to make him pay child support. Well, the judge, he said, I end all child support now, and I also end all the arrears. The money that was owed in back time, I end it all now, okay? And he did the right thing, finally, because I had a lawyer, and probably because he knew, hey, I got to follow the law on this, okay, and this lawyer knows what's legal and what's not, and I got to end this thing, and he did it. Do I respect him? No, it's still garbage in my opinion, but he did the right thing at that moment, okay? And the reason I say garbage in my opinion because this is the same man that if the DHR, Department of Human Services, were standing there, they said put him in jail, he will put me back in jail again, okay? Knowing I couldn't pay, I didn't even have a job. 99% of the time I lost the job that I had, I couldn't get it back. And what kind of record I had? I mean, what could I tell people I've been doing? Well, they said, on an application for a job, where you been? Well, I've been in jail for forever, okay, because I couldn't pay child support. Do you think I get hired even on construction like that? Okay? But do you think that Boss Hog judge cares? Okay? And no, he don't give a crap. And all these people who never had a divorce, they don't know what divorce is about. They don't know about no cheating wife, even though the likelihood is their wife cheated behind their back anyway, but they didn't know it. So I'm just trying to say, the drama of all this is not my drama. It's the drama that people who have never been victims put on you. That's the drama, okay? That's the drama. My kids, we had no relationship. My daughter now, I don't know, maybe she's 45 now, I don't know. I never had a relationship with her or my son. And remember this, during those years, I really wondered, are they really my kids? I mean, this cheating woman, are they really mine? And I didn't have the money to do a DNA test, and that would have been a hard battle. The judge would have probably said no. Okay, he would have rejected that probably. The bottom line is that, do I think they're my kids? No. Do I think that a lot of kids may not be the kids of a parent that's a victim of endless child support they can't pay? Okay, probably many times that's not even your kids. Okay, but even if it is, to victimize a person, to take his life away, or it could be a girl, but usually never is, to take his life away, and then the woman, you find out she's spending money at the casino, okay, or garbage, and I paid thousands upon thousands of dollars, and much of that was interest, okay. What did anybody gain, okay? Well, I had to fight in jail, which was so many times, and it was so horrible that I kissed the ground when I come outside of the jail. Once my brother got me out, my mother paid me out, paid up all the child support, let me out temporary, because the And this was coming back, the money, it was coming back on me because I didn't have a damn job. Okay, but I kissed the ground. And I remember what that freedom felt like. There's nothing that I could put in words to, okay? And here's the thing. I wasn't a damn killer. I wasn't a victimizer. I wasn't a person that had a police record. It was all about child support, okay? And again, as long as I live, I'll never forgive those people who victimized me and my mother because she got victimized by boss hog judges in Alabama, primarily where I'm from, but all across the South had to be the same way. And I'm guessing that in the North it was also the same way because it's political, okay? And I can't speak for the North because I never was a resident of the North, okay? But I was a resident of the South. And I can tell you that, look, I'll short this down. You need to escape. You need to go to a country and stop thinking about you may be able to pass it up for your wife or your kids. If you really believe that, then go on and try that route. I wish you the best in that effort. But I will tell you the reality most of the time is that that's not going to happen. And even if she stopped cheating with one man, she'd go cheat with a different one. Whatever reason she had to do it, that reason will remain even if that guy dumps her, okay? Which happens many times, okay? I felt sorry for my kids during those years because they didn't have the father they deserved. I didn't have the ability to be the father that I dreamed of being. I remember when my daughter was born and they put her in my arms in a blanket immediately, and the feeling I had, it was like the 4th of July and Christmas Day and the heaven opening up all at once and you stepping into heaven. And that's what it felt like. And when I heard her cry, I felt like I was Superman times 1 zillion because she was my baby. And I wanted to be that parent. I did, but it was stolen from me. I have it now. I have my 4 children under age 7, and I have a foreign wife now, and I'm American. Probably one of the best things ever happened to me, okay? Is there some good American girls? I don't know. Maybe there's some. I don't know. Never was for me. But I have a foreign wife, and I have my kids are American and a different race, okay? They're mixed, and thank God for that, I say, because I had enough back at that time, okay, of being cheated on and destroying my life. And it wasn't for a few months. It was from 28 to age 43. Just as I was having my first open heart surgery at age 43, okay? It wasn't the only time I had heart surgery. I had to go back and do it again, okay? At 47, 40, it was about 49 years old when I had the second one. But the first open heart surgery I had was age 43, just as I was getting the child support ended, and I thought I was going to die with that. I didn't have it very well at all. Felt like whatever you dreamed death to be bad, how bad it could be, that's what it felt like, okay? I won't go into that. Some people seem to handle it better than others, but I didn't handle open heart surgery at all. And I still have heart disease, okay? And my chest is wired together, okay? The doctor told me to make sure, the surgeon told me to make sure I never got hit in my chest, okay? Because it's just wired together, okay? Did the boss hall judge in Alabama give a crap about that? Care? No, he don't care, okay? Boss hall, you never cared, okay? And you were just a fake actor and the whole thing, because you're bad, okay? The soul of you is bad, okay? And that's my freedom of speech. I say that now, but I wanted to say it then, but I knew I could not. But I say it now, and does it mean any good? No, but it feels good to say the truth, the absolute truth. But the thing is that if you want information from me about avoiding the wrong of child support upon you, okay, you can contact me. You know, I expect that my time is worth something, so probably it'll be $20 for my information, okay? $20 is nothing, okay? It's nothing, okay? Rather than have the missing information that you need to know. And I live this thing, okay? I'm not talking out my rear. I know. I live it, and I really live it, okay? So my real life experiences has to be worth something, okay? So bottom line is, probably it's gonna be $20 for my information. If you want to contact me, you have questions, I welcome that, okay? And I'll share with you my experience and what I should have done and could have done, and then you should think on that, and you should make your fast decision on what you're gonna do, about your life, okay? Because don't end up what happened to me. Don't waste your, look, you've only got one life. I grew up in a Christian home. They made me believe that there was something else, okay? The jail made me believe that there was nothing more. There was no other life, okay? And I won't share with you my feelings about that at this point, okay? But believe me, I grew up in a Christian environment. I believe there was another life, a better life. But here's the thing. No. Figure there's only one. I mean, save, be smart. Figure there's only one life. And if you get that life wasted, you've got nothing left. What the hell you got left? Nothing. Zero. And all those people that victimize you, including Boss Hogg Judge of Alabama, okay, and they're all the same, to be honest with you. They are, okay? And not just Alabama, all through the South, but I don't have no idea about the North. Do I believe they're the same? Probably, but I don't know. But I know the Southern judges are, and they never change. It's all political and about getting reelected. Favoritism to them, okay? And they don't give a crap about you if you spend your life fighting the opposite race in jail, and you hear people getting raped in the other cell because they're unwilling to fight. They're weaker than you, and they're getting beaten, raped all the time, and they're screaming for their life, and you're trapped in this environment. Why? Because Boss Hogg Judge put you in there wrongly. He kept you in there wrongly. I mean, look, I can go on, and I'm tempted to say much more because there's a lot more of my experiences than what I'm saying. But you get enough reading to save yourself from what I went through. I hope you find enough reason to save yourself. If you want to talk with me, if you want my information, then it's probably going to be $20 for the information I have. Okay, believe me, it's worth a lot more than that. It's invaluable. There's no money amount compared to the value of your life. Okay, the value of your life, and so I live it. If you want my information, then most likely it will be $20 for the information that I have, and anything that any information that you need about what I went through, okay, and the calculation of what you should do for your own life, okay. If you cannot pay, and you already know you can't, you're not trying to con anybody, you're just trying to live, that's all. And you deserve to be able to really live, okay. I don't give a damn about what some Boss Hogg Judge thinks to victimize you. You deserve to be able to live. with housing, with food, with opportunities and the ability to make your life better, to advance your life, not to waste your life away fighting a different color in jail, okay? And when you're out, they grab you again, you know, immediately, and you've got all the sentence piled up on you, haven't had a job, how many jobs you've already lost, okay? So, that's all I got to say for now. And, contact me if I can give you some, information on what I could have, should have done, okay? I was not wrong, I was right, and they victimized me and my life completely. And they victimized my children who would have loved me, and they would have understood who I am had it not been victimized by all these wrong people, including Alabama Vauxhall judges, okay? And, usually it wasn't that many I encountered, but the ones I encountered was that person, and I know the others were the same, okay? It's a system that's wrong. I lost, not only that I lose with my children, the life I should have had being their father and the dream that I had of being their father, but also with my mother, who was an uneducated, good person, very good person, just uneducated, and she didn't know how to go against the wrong man. That's all. I'm out for now. And we'll end this video here.